they say, they tell me there is nothing older than yesterday's news when it comes to how it happened and where we got to where we are today. Truly, out of sight is out of mind. Even on Thursday, the 2nd of June, 2022. And yes, I'm still certain today is Thursday the 2nd. Not so certain about that 2022. But that's another story. Labeled the worst attack on America since Pearl Harbor. Since 9/11. You know what I'm talking about, people? According to the MSM and the commie politicians. Really. Without revisiting the events of, gotta be careful here, 17 months ago in detail, here's what you could know today if anybody cared about yesterday's news. There still are a number of American citizens languishing in a D.C. prison. Languishing, people, that means not too pleasant. And not charged yet. No speedy trial. Hell, not even a slow trial. The House drinker, yeah, you know the one, Nancy Pelosi, who's proven the old saying true time and time again. You can put lipstick on a pig, but it's still a pig. Will not release videotape footage from the many cameras in the building. And if you don't think there is a shitload of security cameras at the Capitol, have I got a deal for you concerning my moon rock collection? Don't tell me on that one, people. I'm going to give them away at a hell of a good price. What little video that has been released clearly shows police letting the people in. Don't tell me on that one. There's a mountain of evidence to prove the FBI, Antifa agitators in the mob, and agents provocateurs have their fingerprints all over this. And finally, some of you may not want to hear this. Yes, Trump did encourage them to march on the Capitol, but also out and out lied to him. How so, you say? Well, let's listen to him in his own words.
We're going to walk down, and I'll be there with you. We're going to walk down. We're going to walk down anyone you want, but I think right here we're going to walk down to the Capitol.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be right with you. Yeah, where was Trump? I was in the West Wing of the White House watching the event go down on live TV. People, draw your own conclusions there. You heard in his own words. Lies. But imagine that, a politician that lies. Now, am I saying, and saying this carefully to avoid censorship, in the land of the free, in the home of the brave, that there weren't any, let's safely call them election irregularities and counting machine issues? Nope. There sure appears to be plenty of that. But what I am saying is all the conclusions and contradictions that appear to be the goal of the 2020 presidential selections. You know, keep the Donald out and install the hopeless, helpless current occupant, Uncle Joe. That makes no sense. And at the risk of pissing some of you off because you don't want to take the bitter pill of truth, would you at least please consider the following? 1, we have little to no input as to who the final opposing candidates are going to be that we get to vote for. Take, for example, Kamala Harris. She ran for the party's nomination. Yeah, the presidential nomination for the Demon Rats, and failed miserably in her own state of California. Yeah, the lefties, the kooks of California, didn't even want her. Yet, surprise, she gets BP on the Biden-Harris ticket. Now, what's wrong with this picture? And it's only one of many irregularities. We don't control the mainstream media. Anne Murray's relatives are pretty influential on both wings of the same bird. Republican, Democrat. Now, even Mark Twain said in the 1800s, if voting accomplished anything, they wouldn't let us do it. You want to argue with Mark Twain? Point 2 is no-brainer, people. The masters of the plantation have never in the past, today, or will never, ever allow in the future, the slaves voting themselves freedom and getting off the plantation. Ain't never going to happen. Prove me wrong. Tell me when it ever happened in the past. I like history. Prove me wrong. The sole purpose, in my humble opinion, of voting tells the masters a great deal of information. Do they need more con men, or do they need better con men? So, if what I say is true, why the obvious deception some 17 months ago? Simple, people. They want civil war. Asymmetrical warfare, people. Keep that in mind. Civil war on top of China and China's goals. Medical martial law. Disarming the public. Gee, where am I getting that from? It's a disgusting long list. And speaking of yesterday's already forgotten news, did you give consideration to what Russia just said? When they are done denazifying the Ukraine, they will demilitarize NATO. And the U.S. is a part of NATO. Don't forget it. A big part. Now, how would you demilitarize NATO? I'd give you a second to think about it. It's going to be a very short podcast to make up for the record-setting 20-some minute one I made yesterday. Did I wear you guys out? All right, how would you demilitarize Russia or NATO? Russia is alleged to have over 6,000 nukes, people. Divide 6,000 by the number of NATO countries, NATO participants. Could be a real horror show. Could be a lot of fireworks. Never lose sight of our master's goals. You will have nothing and be happy. Who's buying up all the property? Oh, Mary's relatives that are running BlackRock Vanguard. Yeah, you're going to be renters. Fuel prices, diesel shortages, supply line issues, food shortages. Yep, as I said earlier, a very long list. It's a short one for you today. My gift to my subs. I got stuff to do.